The best revenge is not to be like your enemy. What if I told you that the people who betrayed you, the ones who thought they could hurt you and get away with it, are setting themselves up for a lifetime of regret, and you don't even have to lift a finger? Imagine this. While they waste their energy on deceit, manipulation, and envy, you're quietly building an unshakable life, one that thrives on focus, resilience, and inner peace. They had no idea that their actions would backfire in ways they could never anticipate. In this video, we're diving deep into the Stoic strategy of silent dominance, the art of letting betrayal ricochet on those who attempt it while you continue to grow stronger, calmer, and wiser. You'll discover why your peace of mind is the most potent weapon, and how mastering detachment transforms hurt into empowerment. Stay with me until the very end, because every insight here is designed to not just shield you from betrayal, but to flip the script entirely. By the last moment of this video, you'll see why those who aim to harm you are, in fact, the ones trapped in their own undoing, and why your quiet strength is the ultimate victory. Number 1. Understanding the hidden consequences of betrayal on others. When someone betrays you, it's natural to feel shock, anger, or a deep sense of injustice. But what if I told you that the consequences of betrayal rarely stop at the surface? What they often don't see, what they have no idea about, is the subtle unraveling of their own life that begins the moment they choose deception over integrity. Stoicism teaches us that every action carries its own natural consequence, and betrayal, by its very nature, is a self-inflicted wound. Reminds us, the best revenge is to be unlike him who performed the injury. You may not see the full picture immediately, but the universe never misses a detail. Understanding these hidden consequences starts with seeing betrayal not as a mere act against you, but as a crack in the betrayer's own foundation. Every dishonest choice, every selfish act, plants seeds of discord, anxiety, and inner turmoil. They may appear fine on the surface, but internally their moral compass shifts, their trustworthiness diminishes, and a sense of inner disquiet begins to grow. This is why silence in response can be your strongest weapon. By stepping back, by refusing to react in anger or vengeance, you allow the natural order to work, and you protect yourself while letting them face their own internal reckoning. You can train yourself to notice this subtle balance in everyday life. Each time you feel wronged, pause and observe. Instead of immediately responding, write down what happened and reflect on the choices made. Ask yourself not only how it affected you, but what it may be doing to them on a deeper, invisible level. This is the exercise of perception, a core Stoic practice. Over time, you'll start seeing patterns. The quiet ways in which actions ripple outward and return in forms the betrayer may never anticipate. Seneca said, "No man has suffered more than necessary." Often, the suffering they face is the result of their own misalignment with virtue. Actively embracing this perspective transforms how you respond. You begin to reclaim power that would otherwise be lost to resentment or reactive anger. Engage in the habit of mindful reflection. Each morning, contemplate the people in your life and the moral weight of their actions. Each evening, journal about how your patience, integrity, and calm allowed the natural consequences of betrayal to unfold. This is not passivity. This is strategic mastery over your own mind. It's a way to turn a painful experience into a lesson in personal growth and moral clarity. You must also practice restraint in speech and action. When you feel the urge to confront or expose, pause, breathe. Remind yourself that the betrayer's life is already subtly reshaping itself through the choices they made. Your role is not to accelerate their downfall, but to preserve your own peace and let the universe handle the scales of justice. Focus instead on refining your own character. Meditate on your values. Strengthen your discipline. When you do this consistently, The betrayal no longer has power over you. It becomes a teacher, guiding you to higher awareness and self-mastery. So adopt this mindset as a daily practice. Recognize that the hidden consequences of betrayal are real and unavoidable, even if invisible to the one who caused them. By observing silently, reflecting consciously, and acting with integrity, you protect your energy, elevate your life, and let natural justice unfold without interference. Over time, you'll notice a profound shift. Anger loses its grip, clarity replaces confusion, and you rise above the petty cycles of hurt, leaving the betrayer to face the repercussions of their own choices. And in that space, you realize something essential. The true power is not in revenge. It is in unwavering virtue and serene observation. Number 2, how detachment and silence amplify your strength. There's a profound power in silence that most people completely underestimate. When someone betrays you, your instinct might scream for retaliation, for confrontation, for the satisfaction of a quick reaction. But Stoicism teaches a different path. Reminds us, nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. Detachment isn't about shutting off the world. It's about reclaiming control over yourself, over your reactions, over your energy. It's about realizing that the chaos of others' actions only has the power you give it. When you choose to remain silent, you do more than avoid unnecessary conflict. You amplify your strength in ways that are subtle but profoundly impactful. Silence creates space. Space to breathe, to think clearly, to observe without being pulled into the drama. When someone acts with malice or betrayal, they are feeding off your energy, your attention, your emotional reaction. By refusing to engage, by holding your tongue, you deny them the fuel they're seeking. You transform what could be a source of weakness into a reservoir of power. You become like a rock in the storm, unshaken, unreactive, impossible to manipulate. Seneca wrote, "He who is brave is free." Silence paired with detachment is your act of courage. It frees you from the chains of reactivity and allows your inner life to remain untouched. This doesn't happen automatically. You need to train yourself. Start with small exercises. Each day, pause before responding to anything that triggers anger, resentment, or irritation. Count to 10, then 20. Let your thoughts settle like sediment in water until clarity emerges. Journal your reflections about what you feel and what you can control, and then release the rest. This is how detachment grows, slowly, deliberately, and powerfully. Over time, you'll notice that by holding your silence, the world begins to reveal itself differently. People's actions lose the weight they once held over you. You start seeing betrayal for what it is, a reflection of others, not a measure of your value. Detachment also strengthens your presence. When you do speak, your words carry more weight because they are chosen deliberately, not spat in the heat of emotion. You become someone whose reactions are measured, whose calm is disarming, whose self-possession commands respect. Every time you resist the urge to react, you are flexing a mental muscle, one that builds resilience and authority. You teach yourself that your peace is non-negotiable and that others' actions cannot destabilize you. To deepen this practice, create a mental ritual. When you feel betrayal or hurt, visualize a bubble around yourself, impenetrable and serene. Let the negativity bounce off it while you remain focused on your own path, your own growth, your own life. Pair this with daily reflection. At night, review moments when you remained silent despite provocation. Note how it made you feel. Notice the subtle sense of power that arises. This is no small thing. It's the foundation of unshakable strength. Remember, detachment and silence aren't signs of weakness. They are strategic, conscious choices that protect your energy and amplify your presence. By refusing to react, by observing quietly, by cultivating patience and control, you step into a realm where betrayal cannot touch you. The world may remain chaotic, unfair, even cruel, but you will move through it with a calm authority that is unassailable. Choose silence. Embrace detachment. Watch how your strength grows quietly, imperceptibly, until one day it becomes undeniable, not to others but to yourself. Number 3. The Stoic principle of controlling only what's within your power. You have to understand this truth deeply. You cannot control the actions, thoughts, or feelings of others. You cannot force someone to act with integrity, loyalty, or honesty. You can only control yourself. This is the essence of Stoicism, a principle that, if truly embraced, can transform the way you move through life. Epictetus said it best. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Every betrayal, every deception, every act meant to hurt you loses its power the moment you recognize that the other person's choices are not your responsibility. Your energy, your focus, and your peace are yours to command, and only yours. So how do you put this into action? Begin by noticing when your mind starts spinning with thoughts of what someone else should have done, how they should have behaved, or how they owe you an apology. Stop. Breathe. Remind yourself that this thinking is wasted energy. Shift your focus to what is truly in your control, your response, your attitude, your actions. This is your domain. You can choose calm instead of anger, clarity instead of confusion, and deliberate action instead of reaction. You can choose to rise above, to guard your energy, to preserve your dignity. Every time you catch yourself trying to manipulate what's outside your control, pause, journal about it. Write down the feelings that arise, then write the actions that are genuinely yours to take. This simple act rewires your mind. It reminds you that freedom comes not from changing others, but from mastering yourself. Exercise this skill daily. When faced with a situation that provokes resentment or frustration, ask yourself, what is within my power here? What can I actually do? Narrow your attention ruthlessly to those things. Make it a habit to return to this question whenever your mind wanders into anger, envy, or regret. Over time, you'll notice a shift. You'll start responding with calm authority instead of reactive emotion. You'll stop carrying the weight of other people's choices. You'll realize that betrayal, while unpleasant, cannot touch the essence of who you are unless you allow it to. This is not passive resignation. This is active empowerment. When you control your reactions and focus on your own growth, the universe has a way of balancing itself. What others do, how they falter, the consequences they face, these are beyond your domain and they will unfold as they must. Reminds us, if you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. And this you have the power to revoke at any moment. You can revoke it. You can decide that their betrayal does not define you, that it does not dictate your mood, your day, or your future. Take it a step further. Turn your energy inward. Each day, practice controlling your thoughts through reflection and meditation. Visualize scenarios that might anger or frustrate you, then rehearse responding with calm, composure, and restraint. This strengthens the mental muscle that allows you to remain unshaken, no matter what others do. When you consistently act from this space of control, you build an unbreakable inner fortress. Others' actions no longer hold sway over your life. They might try, but your power remains intact. The truth is, your freedom lies in your mind, in your choices, and in your discipline. Betrayal may sting, deception may hurt, but only if you hand over the keys. Reclaim your power. Focus on what is within your control. Respond deliberately with wisdom, patience, and clarity. When you do this, nothing and no one can ruin your life except your own lack of discipline. And that, my friend, is the real Stoic victory. Number 4, turning betrayal into personal growth and resilience. Betrayal is a sharp, jarring reality, one that can shake the foundations of your trust, your confidence, even your sense of self. But what if I told you that this very act, the moment someone chooses to turn against you holds a hidden opportunity. The key lies not in revenge, not in resentment, but in transforming that energy into personal growth and unshakable resilience. Reminds us, the impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way. Betrayal is the obstacle, but also the guide. It points you toward what needs strengthening within yourself, your boundaries, your discernment, your ability to rise above the whims and selfishness of others. When you experience betrayal, your instinct may scream at you to react, to expose, to retaliate. But each reaction drains you, feeding the very chaos that betrayal introduces. Instead, choose silence, turn inward, examine your emotions without judgment. Ask yourself, what can I learn here? What inner skill can I sharpen? What aspect of my character is being tested? This moment is a crucible, a test designed not to destroy you, but to forge you. By facing it deliberately and calmly, you cultivate resilience that cannot be shaken by any external act. Make it a habit to write down the lessons that arise from moments of betrayal. Each journal entry is a map, showing you where your strength resides and where growth is needed. Reflect on how you respond, not just to the betrayal itself, but to the emotions it triggers. This practice rewires your mind to see betrayal not as a wound to dwell on, but as a tool to build fortitude. Seneca says, "Difficulties strengthen the mind as labor does the body." Treat this experience as mental training. Strengthen your mind, your patience, and your judgment. Next, actively reclaim your power. Begin each day with a ritual. Breathe deeply, center yourself, and affirm your resilience. Remind yourself that your peace is yours alone, untouched by the treachery of others. Whenever your thoughts drift toward anger or resentment, pause, inhale. Let the energy of betrayal fuel productive action, journaling, meditation, planning your goals, rather than destructive reaction. Over time, you'll notice a profound shift. What once felt like an assault becomes a stepping stone. You'll see the subtle transformation. Your emotional responses are more deliberate, your decisions more grounded, your self-respect intact. Turn this insight into action. Set boundaries with care, not fear. Cultivate discernment so that trust is no longer blind, but measured and wise. Embrace solitude as a tool for reflection. Use your experiences to deepen your understanding of human nature and your own principles. Every act of betrayal you endure becomes an opportunity to refine your judgment, fortify your character, and expand your capacity for inner peace. So don't let betrayal weaken you. Let it teach you, sharpen you, and transform you. Each sting of treachery is a test, but it's also a gift. A chance to rise above, to turn pain into mastery, and to embrace the Stoic path of self-mastery. The person who betrayed you may never realize the consequences of their actions, but you will. Their choices become a mirror reflecting the growth you are capable of achieving. The lesson is yours to claim. And in claiming it, you step forward stronger, wiser, and truly unstoppable. Number 5. Why those who betray often sabotage their own future unknowingly. When someone betrays you, it's easy to feel consumed by anger, hurt, or a desire for revenge. But take a step back and notice something deeper. Often, the person who betrays does more damage to themselves than to you. They sabotage their own future unknowingly in ways that may not be immediately visible. Once said, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." Betrayal is not just a transaction between people, it is a reflection of character. When someone chooses deceit, manipulation, or disloyalty, they are embedding these actions into the very fabric of their mind and spirit. You see, every harmful action leaves an imprint, and over time, it shapes the trajectory of their life far more than it shapes yours. When you witness betrayal, remind yourself that their choices will return to them. This is not about vengeance. It is about natural law, about the consequences that flow from character misalignment. By betraying others, they cultivate distrust, cultivate instability, and weaken the very foundation of their own future opportunities. Silence, in these moments, becomes a weapon of wisdom for you. Let go of the urge to intervene or retaliate. Instead, observe and reflect, knowing that the universe has a way of balancing itself, quietly and inevitably. You can actively train yourself to internalize this understanding. Start by journaling the emotions that arise when someone wrongs you. Write down your instinctive reactions: anger, resentment, confusion, and then write a sentence reminding yourself that their actions are the seeds of their own undoing. Practice meditating for 5 minutes each day on this principle. Focus on the idea that integrity compounds, while betrayal corrodes. Let the thought settle in your mind like a stone sinking in water. Feel its weight, and let it guide your energy toward personal growth instead of wasted focus on them. Seneca said, "No man can escape his destiny. The only question is how he meets it." Every act of betrayal nudges the betrayer toward consequences they may not yet see. And here's the empowering part. You don't have to engage with their chaos. You don't have to retaliate. You simply continue building your life with deliberate action, consistent virtue, and unshakable character. This is how you transform the pain of betrayal into a catalyst for your own growth. You rise above, and they remain bound by the ripple effects of their own choices. Try this practical exercise. The next time someone's betrayal stirs your mind, pause, breathe deeply. Visualize them walking a path that loops back to the very mistakes they are making. Watch it unfold in your mind without judgment, without hope for revenge, just clarity. Then redirect your energy to your own goals, your own growth, your own integrity. Over time, this habit of observation without reaction will become instinctive, and you will notice the quiet power it brings. Your peace, your focus, and your progress become untouchable, while the consequences of betrayal unfold naturally for them. Remember, the universe has a way of correcting itself. You do not need to orchestrate karma, it already works. Your role is to maintain your own virtue, to act with deliberate honesty and consistency, and to let the betrayer's own choices chart their course. In doing this, you reclaim your energy, your clarity, and your freedom. You become untouchable not through confrontation, but through wisdom. And slowly, inevitably, you realize that their betrayal, while painful, is a gift. It shows you the path of integrity and the power of staying silent while the universe handles the rest. Remember what Seneca taught us. No man has the power to have everything, but he can have virtue and inner strength. The ones who betrayed you, their choices reveal their weakness, not yours. You walked away, silent and strong, and in doing so, you protected the life that matters most, yours. If today's message resonated with you, take a moment to reflect on your own boundaries and your inner calm. Every act of silent detachment strengthens you in ways they will never understand. Don't let this wisdom stop here. Hit that like button, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a guide to mastering your mind, guarding your energy, and living a life defined by calm power, not chaos. Stand tall, stay silent, and remember, the path of the Stoic always leads to freedom.